Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the first installment of Independent Comics Showcase Episode 1. This is going to be a show that's separate from my storytellers, and it gives me the opportunity to talk to independent comics creators and help get the word out about their campaigns and what they're doing. First up, we have Fresher Luke, which I will call Luke.
Hello.
And he has a really cool looking campaign, which I will share with you right now, which is called Forsaken Gods.
Yes.
Luke, why don't you give us the elevator pitch on this?
Yes, the one that I prepared ahead of time.
As you should.
As I should. So, Forsaken Gods is a 100-page, full-color, high fantasy, dark story set in this fantasy world that I've created called Epic Earth, and it focuses on the main character who is named Samara Ankma, and she is a young female archaeologist who lives in this world, and she is trying to piece together the reasons behind a great war that happened between the gods many centuries ago. And during one of her expeditions featured in the story, her entire team is killed, and in desperation, she inadvertently awakens the second main character of this story, a large, flaming, screaming skull encased in magical armor named the Skull Knight. And because Samara is the one who has awoken Skull Knight, he is now duty-bound to follow her commands and protect her wherever she goes. And together, they must face the oncoming wrath of the remaining gods, who will do everything they can to destroy them, while Samara tries to solve the mysteries surrounding the Skull Knight and the curse of the Forsaken Gods. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow. Well, that sounds very exciting. We just need some music behind that.
Yeah. Well, there is a trailer that's got that music. So.
Well, we're going to watch the trailer and let people know about this. Okay.
Yeah. But that's it in a nutshell. Did you have any? Because you backed the first campaign, didn't you, Graham?
I did.
And
I did.
Did you have any deep questions about the world of Forsaken Gods?
I do not.
No, what? Did you read the book?
What, are you telling me that you didn't tell the story clear enough?
No, I'm pretty sure I did. But Forsaken Gods has a lot of deep lore that obviously, when you scratch the surface, more of it shall be revealed. So I'm offering that opportunity now.
Let's see what this trailer's got to say. Can y'all hear that?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought.
It's fine.
It's the problem when I share. I'm just going to move this over here. Copy. We'll move it over into this tab here.
Oh, special tab.
Didn't go. That way, when I share it, I can share the audio tab as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we're gonna stop screen, present, share screen, tab, share audio tab. There we go. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Come on, where are you? Why isn't that
first episode? If you want, I could share it, Graham.
It's just weird that it's not. I'm clicking on. All right, there it goes.
Okay.
Now can you hear it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. That's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
That is a great trailer.
Thanks. It took me 6 months to make.
Well, and you did the animation for it too?
Correct. Yes.
Wow. That is no wonder it took you 6 months.
Yeah.
That,
It was
that is really,
very labor
really cool.
intensive. Yeah. So anyway,
Okay,
here's
so
the
you-
tears.
So you chose Kickstarter. Why Kickstarter? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I did I've done other platforms, Indiegogo, Fund My Comic, and I just I wanted to try out Kickstarter just because I've had other people in the indie space who've used it, and they've kind of told me about it, and
Where's the rest of the...
I don't know, and I think Oh, all right, that's okay. I can share mine.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this.
It's you know what? It's crazy. The internet is crazy, but I can share mine. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, you go. I'll take this one down.
Yeah,
and then that way you can control it too.
of course.
Which is even
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
And so anyway, I've used Indiegogo and Fund My Comic, and I found those platforms really interesting. And I just wanted to see, I guess I wanted to test the limits of what Kickstarter could do. As I said, I've got other friends who have used Kickstarter, and they've told me different things, and so I kind of wanted to see for myself. Apparently, it's it's a big platform with a larger audience and stuff like that. So that was mainly the main reason. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always curious why people choose certain platforms. I mean, there's obvious reasons for some, and then there's more complicated ones as well.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I've been lucky in that I know that some campaigns have been shadow banned on Indiegogo. Strangely, I haven't, so I don't know why. I guess maybe it's the screaming skull that intimidates them. But I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted to go on Kickstarter and see if anything weird would happen. Hopefully, nothing will.
Yeah.
But, we'll wait. If something does, then I'll know not to come back here ever again.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the beauty is that you have a lot of options, and I think there's going to be more and more coming up. Fund My Comic is a new one that's out there. I know of another one that's going to be launching. So the more opportunities we have, the better.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially for a smaller creator like myself, if there's more outlets that I can access, then that really works well in my favor, I think. So,
and you can double dip. You could launch the campaign the second time on Indiegogo or on the other one.
Well, strangely enough, this is my second chance campaign, because obviously the first one was on Indiegogo, and that did well. I think I raised like $9,000 last time. So
9,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So again, that was a very awesome video.
Thank you.
Why don't you take us through the campaign and tell everybody about what you're offering?
Sure. So it's the last, I guess, 32 days of this campaign. We're about 25% of the way there. Obviously, I'm looking for more backers. But if you do decide to back, you'll be getting some great deals. You have the 100 full color page graphic novel of Forsaken Gods, and that goes for roughly $35. On top of that, if you want something a little extra, you got the $45 Forsaken God fan, which gets you the graphic novel plus a 40-page sketchbook featuring a lot of behind-the-scenes sketches for Forsaken Gods, plus a lot of my own personal sketches. People from the previous campaign said they really liked my sketches that I post on Twitter, and they wanted a sketchbook. So this is kind of me offering that for them. And these are the only 2 tiers I had, just because I want to keep it simple. But there are like extras as well, which we will get to once the computer decides to work. Well, anyway, I'll just tell you that there is
Yeah,
There
see,
are some
yours
ex.
is the same thing. Oh.
Yes, some type of Kickstarter. I'm not coming back here. But anyway, the extras on offer is a T-shirt and I think some trading cards as well that
Right.
you can buy. And also, I'm going to be putting in a few little free extras as well for people, such as stickers and stuff like that, in with their
Nice.
orders. And plus, every order should be signed as well. And that's what I have on offer. You have this great artwork here that you will get to own and keep and put on your bookshelf. And I feel like that's a great deal. What do you think, Graham?
It's an excellent deal, and that's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
You know, you should tell the future backers about your background too. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
yeah,
So where would you like me to start?
wherever you think is best.
All right. Well, I'm a artist who was born and raised in Australia. I live in the USA in an undisclosed location. I have 20 years of experience working in the entertainment industry in various fields, from comics, video games, and animation. I have 10 years in the United States working in the American animation industry, working for some of the biggest animation studios currently, like Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network, DreamWorks, Disney TVA, and a slew of others on a whole bunch of different projects. So I have a lot of experience in producing and making stuff. I work very hard, and now I'm having been excommunicated like a whole lot of other independent artists like yourself and others. I'm now in the independent space, trying to strike out on my own and tell the stories that I've always wanted to tell, having worked for all these studios to tell, I guess, not so great stories.
So, bottom line here, folks, is that this is professional work. This isn't just fan art that somebody's trying to launch. This book is by a guy with a pedigree. I mean, look at that
Correct.
illustration right there.
Yeah.
And scroll down, show some more of the art. Luke.
Oh, yes. So obviously this is that's the main character, Samara, and this is the Skull Knight, and this is the page from chapter 2 in volume 1, where Samara, the running joke of the story is when Samara first awakens Skull Knight, she thinks that Skull Knight is trying to kill her because Skull Knight can't actually talk to communicate that he is duty bound to her. The only way he can communicate is through screaming, and so she kind of misinterprets the way he screams at her. And so
that's great. The vertical panels are awesome there for a falling sequence. That's great.
Thank you. And so in the context of here is that she's running away from him and he's chasing after her, trying to give her back her bag. And so she thinks, oh, he's going to kill me. I would rather commit suicide than die by the hands of a monster. And so she throws herself off of this mountain. And he obviously goes after her, trying to make sure that she's safe.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, hilarity ensues. And this is another autonomous piece of armor, which goes into sort of deeper depth of the story. There's like a whole bunch of these different kinds of knights, aside from Skull Knight. This is the Guardian Knight, and obviously his Skull Knight fighting the Guardian Knight. And this is a page. Context of this is another character called Derek, who's a demigod, who's a half god, half mortal human who can manipulate and create fire. So he's like a pyromancer, and he is also revealed in chapter 2 of this book, and you could consider him kind of like I guess sort of a Lothario kind of Errol Flynn kind of character.
Nice.
He's very confident. He's very smooth, and he's a bit of a womanizer. And he's never lost a fight. And so obviously when he faces off against Skull Knight, this is the first time he's faced any real adversity, and that kind of rattles him a whole lot. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. I have more volumes planned. I am really passionate about this story. I've got a lot of it plotted out. I'm planning to do about 6 volumes all up, and this is the first major volume that I'm looking to get done. And if it's successful, I will definitely be funding the next one very soon.
Well, let's make it successful, guys. Give this stuff a look. Go over to Kickstarter and help support independent comics, because that's where all the action is these days. You see what's going on in the corporate world. So
Yeah.
if we want to save the art form that was known as comics, and this is the place that it's happening. This is something you'd never see from the big two.
Oh,
And yet
never.
it's got so much heart and action. The artwork is great. Did you write the story as well,
I
Lou?
did, yeah. I've done it all. So I wrote it, I drew it, and I colored it, and I did all the lettering as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
gee, it's a one-stop shop.
it
Help this
is.
guy out, people. We got to get more than 24 backers here, you know. So,
Exactly. So yes, any questions about the story of Forsaken Gods? I am an open book. I can tell you anything.
no, this is your job to tell us everything.
I know, but obviously there's an element of mystery. So if you ask me
Right.
a really good question, then like a fantasy, I shall be forced to reveal my secrets.
So, okay, so this is the first one that you've
Correct.
done, right?
Yes.
And this is the one that this is the second chance campaign, because you originally did it on Indiegogo about a year ago, was it?
Yeah. So I did two of them. I guess chapter one was the one that you backed.
Okay.
And that was 2 years ago, I think. And then chapter two was, yes, a year ago, and that did about 9,000. So I'm looking for about 5,000 here.
So
Yeah.
this is chapter 3.
Well, this is collected chapters 1 and 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hence why volume 1, and then volume 2 will be chapters 3 and 4.
Right. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's great. And you said this is hardcover too?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. That'll look great on a shelf.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want people to really enjoy. I mean, there's something good about having a nice, sturdy book on your bookshelf that you can just, pick up and read whenever you want to. I feel like physical media is coming back now in sort of protest against a lot of digital media that tends to just get deleted and turned into vaporware without you even knowing it. So
Yeah, I've when it comes to books, I've always preferred the hard copy, the tangible, the visceral. I mean, I'll read comics, but online, but it's like, yeah, I have no real investment in it. I don't really care about it the same way as if I close a book and I'm like, oh man, that was great. And I'll put it on myself and then I'll look at it again.
Yeah, there's something satisfying about that. It's
Yeah,
we as humans like tactile things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a place for digital stuff. Like, let's say you want to read it on a plane or something, and your commute or something like that. Then you've got it, and you can read it or look at it, or pull images from it if you need to for whatever reason. But having the hard copies is really the way to go.
Absolutely. But were you curious about anything else about the story of Forsaken Gods, Graham? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Surely you have questions going around in that awesome mind of yours.
I'm focusing on the interview, not the questions. This show is supposed to be about the pitch to people who haven't.
Sure. That's part of the pitch, right?
Yeah. No,
no,
not asking questions to somebody, to give spoilers to it. You want people to buy this to read it.
Absolutely.
And you need to tease them.
I am doing my best. The thing is, obviously, I'm very close to this story, so I'm not sure what I could tease without giving away the whole game. You know what I mean? And also, I guess I react better to I work better when I'm prompted with questions, just in general. But I don't mean to put the onus on you. I apologize.
No. That's fine. But I think the better way to approach this is, I mean, you've told people what the story is about, and we've seen the video, and that is really cool. And those visuals carry the day. So the real stuff now is to talk about you.
Okay.
And your desires. Why this story?
Well, given everything that's been going on in the world of late, how culture is being destroyed and dismantled, and how old stories that we grew up with kind of being desecrated, I guess I kind of felt like I wanted to make something for the next generation that I could leave behind to, I guess, make the world a little bit brighter. I mean, when I was making the story, I was really inspired by a lot of old stories like, the Iliad and Greek pantheon gods and Grimm fairy tales and stuff like
Right.
that, and how they kind of speak to the deeper understanding of how we as humans have always used stories to pass down knowledge to the next generation. And I kind of feel like that's not happening as much anymore. I mean, except for in the indie space. Like, thankfully, everybody is kind of picking up a pickaxe and shovel and working at it. And I kind of wanted to be a part of that. And this was kind of like my response. Kids today just kind of don't really know much about those old stories, like Boy Who Cried Wolf and other great classics.
Classic heroic fiction.
Yeah,
without pop culture reference. Like, there's no cell phone jokes in the Iliad. There's no TikTok reference or any of that shit that's going to date it.
Okay. Oh, I'm feeling real nervous now.
No, I don't mean you're telling a modern story. But you're telling it.
I'm telling a modern story reframed in a romantic setting. I guess because fantasy is often seen as sort of a romantic view of the past, so to say.
Right.
So it's kind of
created your own world,
correct.
The same that Tolkien has and these other people. They're still telling classic heroic tales of fiction and fantasy that aren't self-aware. You're creating worlds that you want people to be absorbed in and inculcated into. But you're telling it in a modern way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, I guess because obviously younger people today, they didn't grow up with the same kind of influences that we did.
Right.
They live in the world of Fortnite and TikTok, obviously. So while I am sort of putting my own spin of those elements in there, I'm trying to do it in such a way that it's engaging but not alienating, if that's too obscure.
No, not really. I mean, I get it. There are certain things in our world that you want people to relate to, but it doesn't have to be the end all and be all. Like, for example, you get a Marvel comic and you've got the fucking Avengers standing around, and they're doing nothing. They're talking about pronouns, or they're talking about I've got indigestion from the pizza we ate the other night, or something. They sit around in soda shops and pizza parlors and they talk and they talk and they talk. That's not the same as telling an exciting story where a character is using a cell phone, or maybe there's a mention of some popular console video game or something like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, where it's just inundated with pop culture nonsense at the expense of the storytelling.
Yeah. All right. No, that's a very good distinction you made, Graham, and I do agree with that. Yeah. I mean, you can make references to that, but as long as they don't, supersede the main plot line that you're supposed to be following,
right?
Then it should be all right. And I feel like I'm very successful at pulling that off. Most of the reviews of it, people have really liked it, so I'm obviously doing something right. But as I said before, it's really hard, I guess, now, because the indie space is getting flooded with lots of other candidates who are also offering great work. And all the more power to them. But it's very difficult for me to get this in front of people's eyes and get them to back this particular story, which I think is a shame, because I think they're really missing out on something very special.
Well, that's the trick, isn't it? Is getting the word out. There's a lot of good stuff. I know guys that have worked in the business 25, 30 years who try to crowdfund, and the crowdfunding just kind of tanks on them, because they haven't done their homework, for one. They are hoping that their name and their past history is what carries the day, and it doesn't in crowdfunding. It really doesn't. I tried crowdfunding something with Chuck Dixon years ago, like 2014, 2015.
Wow.
And it was terrible. And it was on Kickstarter, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
It didn't do jack, but
Yeah.
since then I've had some experience and I've talked to people and I've learned a lot. And it's really important to get on shows like this and get the word out and try to hit different types of shows so that you're hitting different audiences.
Yeah.
And here's the one thing, and you can do this because you've got a good personality.
Thank you.
You want the viewers or the listeners to fall in love with you as a creator. And if they fall in love with you, they'll either fall in love or at the least give a shot to your project because they like you.
Well, that's some very sound advice, Graham. I will definitely be taking that to heart. So.
Yeah. But you got to be yourself. You got to be honest, because nothing smells phonier than somebody that's being phony. it really comes across.
Is it as phony as a humble businessman with earphones and a business suit
with a skull head?
What are you talking about? This is my real face. Is it that phony, Graham? Please say no.
There's a lot of guys that use avatars, and that's
really
cool.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I've been on shows where I'm like the only one that's live. It's all these avatars.
Are you implying that I'm dead, Graham? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, you do
because
have
of my visage.
Head. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming your death gender.
wait, is there a death gender?
There's got to be.
Oh my god.
There's got to be.
I think there's a goths. Aren't they goths? I'm not a goth, sir.
No, you are not. No, you're not. So is there anything else you want to mention before we close her up?
If we exceed the amount, the book is already done. If we exceed the amount, obviously there's going to be stretch goals. What else?
What is your 5,000? I see it. Okay.
Yeah, 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, I've got more volumes planned, and more great things in store for people who want to back this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to try and get onto more shows. So if anybody out there in YouTube land wants to see this get backed, please, and they know somebody who would want to have me on, please have me on. I'm more than happy to come on and talk about this book, as it is my biggest passion to date.
And where can they find you social media wise, Luke?
So you can find me on Twitter @FresherLuke, and you can find me on YouTube @FresherLuke as well.
Perfect. Are you on Facebook?
No, that is the devil's website.
Yeah, I know. It's impossible to get any word out about a project on Facebook.
Yeah, it's amazing how social media has become so antisocial.
Oh yeah, the algorithms just destroy you.
Absolutely, yeah. So
on Facebook, I've got 5,000. I've got the maximum followers. And of that 5,000, if I post a link to a campaign, maybe 200 will see it. And of that 200, it's the 200 that are always engaging with me anyway.
Yeah. That's why I don't use it. I was on Instagram at one point, and I think I had like 10,000 followers, but it was the same issue, and I was just like, I knew.
Yeah, and you can't put a link in Instagram. You can only,
exactly. Yeah.
You can pin it to your main page, but then you got constantly having to get people to go over there to use it.
Exactly. Yeah. So
yeah. So it's really important to get out there, get on different shows. If you guys got anybody out there's got a show wants to get Luke on, hit him up on Twitter @FresherLuke.
Yeah.
And he'll be happy to come on and talk about this. We got 32 days left.
Correct.
To get this hardcover. So please give it a look and reach out to him if you've got any questions. I'm sure he'll answer them for you.
And thank you for having me on your very first episode of Independent Comics Showcase. I really appreciate it, Graham. You'll
always be number one.
Yes. Finally.
So back number one here. People.
Correct. Number one on number one.
And back number one.
With the number one artist.
It's
Graham
volume
Nolan.
number one. And
volume number one. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, Luke. thank you so much.
Thank you, Graham.
Everybody, we will see you for the next show. I believe Mike Barron's going to be on talking about his new launch. He's got a Western with Pat Broderick.
Is that the Octopus Western?
No, I backed that one too.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, I could not back that one. But yeah, so we'll see you next time on Independent Comics Showcase. Thanks, everybody.
Stay
Bye.
fresh.